I'm mostly a landscape photographer. Because when I was very young, I painted landscapes and I loved the landscapes of the Impressionists, the movement of the grass, the subtlety of it all, and I tried to recreate that many years when I was painting with pastels and oil and all kinds of medium. But now I'm trying to do the same thing with the camera, trying to create that mood, like something mysterious, something almost like you can go into the painting and live in it. It makes it real. My first show was called As Above, So Below, because there was trees reflecting in the water, and it's a very deep subject, water is, so there's reflection, not just reflection, the physical reflection, but an inner reflection, an reflection on your whole life. I was surrounded by art my whole life. I remember my grandfather's house was full of paintings. The bottom to the top of the walls covered in oil paintings. The smell of turpentine and oil paints covered the house. And I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be an artist, so I started painting. Later on, I started photography because I worked in a darkroom at the print shop that I was having an apprenticeship, and I liked the darkroom, so I did black and white early on. Fast forward 30 years after I had my family, I kept painting, but photography was impossible with the way my family situation was. And
we did always have a darkroom though.
Yes.
Well, not always, but
we did have a dark room. Even when my children were little, I had a dark room. And when my daughter was graduating from high school, she got really interested in photography. She took photography classes, and she ended up going to Brooks Institute of Photography in Santa Barbara. And seeing her create and have fun in the dark room with cameras and photo shoots, it just re-inspired me all over again. And she's really the reason I got back into it. And I learned a lot from her education at Brooks even. I had the most wonderful time with her creating. I was her first nude model. We're out shooting together and having the most fun. And my son Daniel, he has a way with words, and he names all my titles, because he will zoom in on what I want to express, and he finds words for it that I could never do. And just a couple of days ago, we went to Sonoma County for my birthday, and we had the most creative time shooting the coast, shooting lines of trees, and a photo shoot in the redwoods with my daughter, with my son filming, the three of us together. It was incredible what you can do if you get along with your children so well, where they can all come together and work with you, and I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of how creative they are, and how loving they are and supportive. So I'm very blessed to have such a family. I'm thrilled. Somebody commented on one of the images that I took of my son and daughter that it looks like a movie scene, or a cover for a music album. When is their album coming out? Because they look like rock stars. And I answered, I said, yes, I think our family is like an album. It is like a movie. We live in a movie, we live in a fairy tale, because we live in a beautiful area, and we're blessed to have work, and we're blessed to do what we love to do for a living. But it wasn't always easy. Working for yourself is not easy. You don't have a regular paycheck. You have to work harder most times, but you do what you love to do. And in the meantime, you have flexibility to go jump in the ocean in the middle of the day, or sit on the balcony, or meet a friend for a cup of tea, because you can. Now, we're all our own worst bosses when we are self-employed, because we drive ourselves. But I might be working late at night, and so I could enjoy some time during the day, enjoy sitting in the sun. And there's very little photography to do during the day because you want early morning or late evening light. So you want the golden light. So make your life, make your day a golden day by enjoying it. So that's kind of my philosophy of life. Let's talk about the analog process a little bit, which is really, really difficult. I got into it because I love everything from clicking the shutter to putting the roll of film in, to developing it in the darkroom, seeing the negatives, printing them, seeing them come to life, touching the paper, cutting with tactical. You touch things, you do things. That's why I don't do digital, because it's just too removed from reality. It's too far away from the real world. I want to do analog, and I think that anybody that wants to do digital and feels comfortable with it, then they should, because that's what they choose to do, and the quality is nearly the same now. But for me, I'm going to stick with analog because it makes me happy. I want to talk a little bit about my selection process for a show. I start with a strong image, and everything else has to go around it, like supporting that one image, and that one image will usually be the name of the show. Like As Above, So Below was the strong image, and it was supported by other images. I really work hard on consistency. It's terribly hard to have a consistent image because of the way I tone my prints. They're toned with I used to do Kodak brown toner, which is no longer manufactured, so now I make my own toner. I buy the chemistry and I mix it, and to be consistent in that is really, really difficult. So it takes a lot of work to do that, where if I was going to go digital, I put some kind of filter on it and they all would be the same. That would be great. So maybe when I'm 80, 85 and I can't work in the darkroom anymore, I'll do digital, because I can just print it on a printer and it'll be easy. It doesn't have to be so hard. So, but there's time for that. In the meantime, don't look for much digital work coming from my creative being.